the second set of notes on section 4.2, I'd like you to do the additional examples on your own. Hit pause at this time. For the first one, you should have come up with something like this. You could have labeled your diagram using different letters. So long as you have all the information that I have here, you'd get full credit still. Please make sure that you name the base of your isosceles triangle. For the second example, we're working with a rectangle. You do have to mention that we have a rectangle. It's optional for you to list the diagonals. We can assume those just by looking at the diagram. And we want to prove that those diagonals bisect each other. For the third example, this is a little bit trickier. Keep in mind we have our isosceles triangle, so we want to label that with the base. And we have midpoints on the legs. So the legs are the two sides of the triangle that are not the base. So in this case here, I have legs A, B, and AC, and my midpoints are D and E. So you have to say that those 2 points are midpoints in your given information. Then we want to prove that the segments that are being drawn from those midpoints are perpendicular to the base. So we have 2 segments that we should have drawn in there, both to base BC in this case for my diagram. And we want to prove that both of those segments are perpendicular to the base. And for the last one, we should have come up with some type of Venn diagram to begin with. Looks just like a Venn diagram. And keep in mind those intersection points. Okay, we want to make sure that we darken those intersection points, as well as, since we're dealing with circles, we want to make sure that we create centers in our circles, because that's how we name a circle, by its center. So I'm going to construct those points now, and I called my circles A and B. Now you can say that those 2 circles intersect at those 2 points, and I'll name those points C and D, but you could just assume the intersection of those circles by looking at the diagram. So you don't have to necessarily say the intersection point. And we want to prove that the segment joining the intersection points, okay, well our intersection points here are C and D, so the segment joining our intersection points is perpendicular to the segment connecting the centers. Well, the centers of my circles are A and B, so we want to prove that that segment CD is perpendicular to segment AB. The segment joining the intersection points is perpendicular to the segment connecting the centers of the circles.